that you are interested in, which is cool. Hi, Bev. Now, Bev, I can see you're logged on 3 different ways. So maybe if you can log off 2 ways so other people can get in, because we have a maximum of 25 that can join us, and we had 25 that was registered. And so anyone else, like Jill Glenn, if you can log in. So, yeah, there's a few people who are logged in maybe more than one way, like, I don't know.
It could be that you've got some different tabs open on your computer. Can you just check for us? Because, Beth, bless you, we've got you logged in 4 times.
All right. Anyway, without further ado, we have a lot to cover. And so that, Bev, you can't hear us. All right. Maybe try turning up your microphone. Can anyone else hear us? Can you all mention? Jane, yes, that's good. Oh, yes, of course. Here I am telling Bev to turn up a microphone and she can't hear me. Thank you, Claire. All right. Okay. Let's get going if you are all here, and thank you for your attendance. Okay. So this is going to be all about My Private Stylist. A lot of this you'll know, some of you won't. It's always good to have an overview and an up-to-date one every now and then. So let's start with what My Private Stylist is, and that is it's a customized computer-assisted style program. And I think that is really important, because it's not just a program that you as a consultant use and then that's all that happens. Then there's no input from you. It's just a cookie cutter thing that's made for each individual person. That is not it. It is a computer assisted program. That means you are actually in control of the major things. So as you'll see, you will be able to change anything. You'll be able to add comments. So in the end, this should always be a program that you have made for a client that you are happy with. So all we're giving you is the foundation information, the foundation results, and then from that you are going to make it suit your client. And I also did it this way because I appreciate that some people have been trained by other trainers who have slightly different ideas. And probably the most important thing is the fact that My Private Stylist gets used by people who are not the target that we originally intended it for, which was women. And we have a lot of transgender people using this now too. And so there will be times like cross-dressers where you will need to massage some of the results that it gives them the best possible program. And so it is important for you to know that it's just a computer-assisted program. You are the one that is totally in control. Okay, so also it teaches which style elements suit an individual best and the basics of personal style coordination. And so you can see here with this image, you have all the names of the things, all the elements of this garment. What the program is not, is it is not a fashion program. While we like to think that the images that are in the program are up to date, it is not something that we're saying, these are all the things of fashion you should be wearing. We are just taking images that are current and putting that in there so that it makes things understandable from as being relevant to the time. Now, I'm just going to read some of these comments that are coming through. Okay, so it's just some conversation going on there. Okay, no problem. Welcome, Julie. So the program teaches everything to do with what individual style elements suit somebody, how the basics of coordination suit them, and that includes color. So in the idea of is color best, is is light or bright, best worn below the waist, above the waist, or can it be worn through? So when sometimes we mention that color is in it, we have to be always important to note that color coordination is in it. It's not color analysis, which of course anyone that's interested in My Private Stylist, you should be really trying to get them to also do a color analysis, because a great style in a bad color is still a bad buy. And whenever I say that to somebody, they always say, yeah, I get it. So I'm going to get one, then I'll get the other, because really one without the other is only half the picture of getting styling right for you. So it's about teaching someone the individual elements so that they can go out in the stores and look at a garment that attracts them in some way and go through their brain or their program and look at, yes, does that collar suit me? It does or it doesn't, and so forth down the garment. And very quickly, people tend to learn what they're looking for. And we will be talking some virtual color and virtual styling as well, how to do this that way. So it is also important to know what are the benefits of My Private Stylist, because this is what you need to get across to your clients. Why would they want to invest even the fairly small amount of money into getting this program done? So it takes the guesswork out of, does this suit me? There are so many women that go out there and they are buying on first glance appeal. They're in hurries. They've got friends with them who have different personality styles. They may, be just unsure of themselves, and they're always asking everyone, including the sales assistants, does this suit me? Whereas if they take that power into their own hands and they learn to know what elements do and does not suit them, it really puts all the power back into their hands so that they won't be talked into something by someone with another style or a shop assistant who has an agenda that she needs to make her quota that day. We want people to love what they wear and wear what they love. And that's the basis of a wardrobe that works for you. It improves confidence through an improved appearance. And so when you look good, your social and business opportunities increase. And whether it's somebody who's trying to look for a new partner or a new job or whatever it is, make friends, having that confidence that you can walk out the door having first looked in the mirror going, I like what I see. I reckon I look pretty good. That changes not only your mindset, but your world. Because when you walk out feeling that confident, people react to you. Okay. And even today, one of the back to basics little post I put up there today talked about stereotypes. And so using clothes in a way that suits you in a flattering manner, that puts you in a stereotype that people are going to see as positive, is also going to help in that first impressions. It's going to help people shop quicker with less stress and more confidence, because they are taking back the power, as I said before, in their own hands. And it's going to help them spend less and buy better. Because remember, we do have that wardrobe wastage calculator that shows people just how much is in their wardrobe that they are wearing on a regular basis. Now, aside from the fact that, some of us just buy way too many clothes, which is not a good thing today in this trying to be sustainable world of ours, is that when you know what suits you, you are able to buy better quality. And better quality means a more satisfying, longer lasting wardrobe with a lot more versatility. And so if this program can just teach somebody to do that, and that they can be taught how to have a cluster of clothes in their wardrobe, lots and lots of mix and match through it, that is a huge benefit because of the savings that they're going to make. Now, if anyone's got any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to put it in the comments. I will be looking down there regularly, and Claire will always pop in if I've missed anything that's important. Okay, so the next thing I get asked is, okay, so how am I going to use this? Is it just with the personal consultations? And we have 3 ways that you can use My Private Stylist to help your business. So the first one is online sales. This is a passive aspect of this program. Now, when I created it to be just put on your website, think of it as putting it on your website that will attract or capture, probably is a better word, anybody who's come to your website who is interested in something like personal style, but doesn't live anywhere near you. So maybe you're in Australia and you find somebody that passes through and they're from India, and they go, well, I certainly couldn't have a one-on-one consultation with this person in person, but I can certainly do this program online and still access the benefits from it. And so we will be talking about online sales. There are, of course, personal consultations, which you already know of. And now in this incredible brave new world and challenges we're going through, we have virtual consultations, and that is what everybody is jumping online for now finally, because they're going, okay, I've got to work from home and we've got to distance ourselves from people. But you know what? This has always been an opportunity that's out there. And those of you who know me well know I believe in the world of online so much. That's why I've created products this way. I believe this is a huge market, even without a virus that's going around there. When you offer online sales or online virtual consultations, your world, as far as your client base opportunities, has just exploded. All you have to do is get yourself out in front of that person and give them a really good reason to come and do the consultations with you. And we're going to go through all of these things. All right. So, online sales. The first thing in order to understand about online sales is sometimes people say to me, do I need a website? Well, you know what? No, because My Private Stylist is a website. And so even if you didn't have a personal website yourself or a business website yourself, you still have a website. You still have the unique URL that is your My Private Stylist or Menace Tile website. And so without having a website, you can still do blogs, you can still send out emails, social posts, whatever it is, and have a bit.ly link in there to your unique My Private Stylist program. So do you need a website? No, you have one already. However, if you do have a business website, and I appreciate a lot of you will be either working towards that or will have one already, what I suggest you do is add it to your services area. So you would, and I've tried to show you there in My Private Stylist here, that under women we have style consultations, and I've just highlighted that we also have virtual personal style program, and that would be My Private Stylist. And so when you click on that, now you can do one of 2 things. You can, now we have a WordPress website, which I think WordPress is the absolute best because what you can do with it. But there's Wix and all the other ones out there now, and I'm pretty sure they'd all be able to do the same thing. If you didn't want to do anything else but just add it into your website under virtual sales or virtual consultations, then all you would do is link that new page to your unique My Private Stylist URL. So when they click that, it will just go into your My Private Stylist page. However, I think much better is to create a landing page. So that is creating a new page on your website where you explain what this virtual program is. And so you can see there I've copied a little bit of the page there. why don't you go and have a look at it? If you're wondering what it's like, go onto My Private Stylist and go down and look for this yourself and see how we've done it. You know what? We are more than happy. I'm more than happy for you to copy anything that's on this page. But what I would say to you to be smart with Google SEOing is I can give you images and all that. You just ask me what you want and I'll give you some images, and there's some already in your resources area. But word it a little bit differently. Word it so that it's coming out of your mouth. Put in your experiences or whatever it is. Don't copy it word for word, because that's not very smart with SEO. Just copy it so that it says the same things in your words. And I think Claire would probably agree with me there. And then somewhere down on that page, you would say, okay, are you ready to get going? Here's the link to go over. And I would then link them to the buy now area. So I would actually miss the first page of your unique URL and link them into the buy now area, because you've already sold it to them. You don't need to confuse them with another with a My Private Stylist landing page as well. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Claire. That's great. So just give me a hands up if that made sense, or did I just confuse some people? Yep, or right, or good, or something like that, so I know that you understood that. Great. Okay, remember, if you've got any questions, start putting them up. Okay, so when you have your online sales, when you have your page all ready to go, or you're just going to use the website, you need to promote them through, of course, promotional emails, style features. Start putting it in your social posts. So the social posts at the moment, the ones I create for you, a lot of them point them back towards you and your private services. So what I suggest to you, if you want a few more ideas about what to say about getting them to your virtual program, which is all I ever do because I've got enough to run the company here, go into the My Private Stylist or the Image Innovators Facebook pages and go and have a look what I write and just copy and just put your URL in. So if you're wondering, well, what would I say differently? So for those that you want to push them over to have online sales, just go and look at some of the things that I've written. And don't forget to put a link to it in your email signature. So do you all know how to create an email signature? Because if you don't, maybe we can do a little mini lesson on that as well. How is that? You all know? Yes, most of you know. Okay, good. Okay, so creating an email signature and putting a link in there would be fantastic. Thanks, guys, for taking the time to listen and answer. All right, no, Kim. All right, well, we'll take a note. Claire will take a note of the no's, and we'll see what we can do if you're not sure. Okay, there's a few no's coming up there, Claire. All right, so some things that you need to know about your online sales. And I know some of you are definitely making them. It's a great thing to see them coming through more and more at the moment. So when somebody goes to your unique site and they purchase a program, you will get an alert email. And that alert email will also then show up in the sales area, the sales and commissions area that I'm pointing out here. So if any time you went in there, it would tell you what programs have been sold and what commission you're up to. We, of course, pay you out when it reaches 100 Australian dollars. So that's like 20 cents American at the moment. No, it's not that bad, but anyway. And then there is also another area down the bottom that says commissions paid, and you can see there when you have had commissions paid, you will see it in that area. Okay, I'm just looking over at the emails. So you will always be right up to date. It's very, very transparent about when sales are made. Okay, Emma, sorry I missed some of the instructions earlier on how this works. If I don't have a website, what link will I advise on? You will use your unique My Private Stylist website link. That's what you'll use. But you can go back and look at the email, or you can go back and watch this video again, or you can contact us personally. Happy to help anytime. All right. So now, here's the next thing I think that's really important. You need to know what your customer experience is, because just recently we had someone start doing a styling course for some of their clients, and part of this was giving them the ability to go and create a program. In fact, I think she was using license keys. And then she got all these questions in about filling in the questionnaire. And you know what? She'd never done it. So she got herself into a little bit of a hole and needed our help. So if you're going to do this, anything you ask your client to do, you need to know what they are going to experience, because, that's the right thing to do, and you can pick up any problems that there might be here. So what I propose that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through the purchase of an online program so that you see how it works. Emma, this is yours because it says Emma, that's your unique My Private URL. So it's not ours. Ours is just myprivatestylist.com. So that if you are refined, pre-loved, that's you. Okay. And I'll get to some of this later on too. In fact, if you're not sure what your unique URL is for the My Private Stylist program, open your admin, go down to where the My Private Stylist area is, and it says go to your website. So if you click on go to your website, your unique URL will come up, and there you'll know that's what it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to click over to a little video I made earlier so that you can watch how this will work for a client who is just buying it online. All right, here we are back on the My Private Stylist page, of which your client has to go to your unique page. Then they would go up and click the Buy Now button. Now, I'm going to take you through the purchase process and then the questions. In order for me not to pay full price, I set up a code that I could only get it for $1. And so you can see there the promotional code has been put in, the apply button has been pressed, and the $1 has come up. So, of course, for your clients, it's as easy as that too. Whatever your code is, they put it in, they press apply, the price changes, and they continue. So let me continue. Say okay, go to PayPal, which that's what it is. And it is amazing when you go to PayPal what you learn, because what I saw is our really old logo, which I tried to find a place to put the new one this morning before our talk, and I couldn't. And that's okay. So now it should deliver me back to the website where we go here, return to seller. Fantastic. Continue with your program. And here we are at the setup page. So over here, we are just going to do these things. So we're going to add in the height. And remember, this is how you look, to how you believe you look within your society. There is some guidelines over here. This is a simplified process to what we would do, that you would do with a client. And of course, with the weight, it's important that how they look compared to the general population when they're dressed. Age, and the only thing here to tell you is, remember, if you're one-on-one with a client, if they look younger than their chronological age, then that's what you should put them in as. And let me just go here. Now, if you go double D, there's a thing here where not everybody, double D or bigger, not everybody wants to have their bust minimized. There's a lot of ladies buy those babies. So if that's the case, if you put double D or bigger on, it will come up and say, do not minimize, I love my bust size. So let's check that one. Then we go next. Oops, it tells me I haven't filled this in. Sorry, I'll turn off those things. Let's see if it will just take that. All right, so with the next step, if they are just buying it online and they're quite happy with their body shape, they don't feel like they need any help, they'll just press no and continue. If they go, oh, there's a photo assessment, and they're just buying it off your website, then this is the time where they might want to go, well, tell me more. So they'll click yes, and then next, and that will take them over to the page, which will show them more of how to do it. They can print off the page and they can elect to go and have that done. And if they do that, then they'll fill in the first bit. They will then elect to pay for it, and everything will stop. It will send them an email. They can download the images, and then once they upload those images, then I get told about them. I do their assessment within 24, 48 working hours Australia, and I get back to them with a nice email, and the program continues. So once they do this, their program actually stops for them, but they do get told that in an email. And so we'll talk about virtual styling if you're doing some of this in a little bit. Okay, so we are just going to go back. Go back. Okay, so next, and we'll say no. So now this is the part that some of you are worrying about or questioning about, and that is when they do it online, they don't take measurements because we have found people do not measure themselves at all accurately. But when we did our research, they did assess much more accurately from photos or illustrations, as you see here. As you run your cursor over each one, the information on the side changes, and so we even give them, well, what do they do if they're not sure what to do? So let's put in medium long and go next, and I'm just the same thing all the way through, so I'm just going to continue next. Information on the side changes, and so we even give them, well, what do they do if they're not sure what to do? So let's put in medium long and go next, and I'm just the same thing all the way through, so I'm just going to continue next. Bone structure, you can see the same thing, so next. Now the horizontal body shape, it is explained over and to the right, so it's a matter of just picking whichever one you feel is appropriate. Now the horizontal body shape, it is explained over and to the right, so it's a matter of just picking whichever one you feel is appropriate. Now the verticals, some people get a bit confused about, and while the instructions is over to the side, there is a calculator on this page where you can use the measurement calculator. You put in measurements or centimeters or inches. You look for the photo, put the measurement in, go to the photo, put the measurement in, and so forth. And then once you've done all that, you click calculator, you put in measurements or centimeters or inches. You look for the photo, put the measurement in, go to the photo, put the measurement in, and so forth. And then once you've done all that, you click body calculator and it will have chosen the right one for you. So in this case, I'll just choose long-legged. Now we come to the shoulder type, and so it will give them the choice here of which two that's options. So we've got tapered, next, and then we'll go face shape, next. The prominent features we have got here, that we've got different sections of the body. So if none apply to you, you click that, and we might go sway back, and none of these apply to me. And it's very important that they read the instructions, because if there's ever a place they're going to make a mistake, they're going to put way too many prominent features in, because as women, we're very hard on ourselves. So things like a large stomach is when the stomach is large enough that it's going to be holding up the hem of a dress or a skirt in the front, just like a large bottom would be one that holds the skirt or dress up in the back. People can be overweight, they will have a big bottom. It's when the bottom is out of proportion with them, and this is some of the characteristics that you would see that would happen if that was the case. Okay, when you get to here, because they've paid, you go create program, and just takes a little second, a little longer these days because everybody's there. And there you see the test. The program has been created. There's a video that they can watch to go. There's a video that they can watch to go through how the site works, and then they are ready to go straight down through the various areas. And they'll get a few emails, which we'll talk about, that will show them how to transverse through the program and get the most out of it. So that's how it works for your clients who buy them online. Claire was realizing that I hadn't turned on my mic and she was phoning me. Okay, so what I want to do now is go into the photo assessment area, because it's going to be relevant when I talk about virtual consultations. And also there's lots of questions people have about what happens when someone does a photo assessment from my site. So the Claire and I are a good team, I tell you. Okay, so all right. So what happens is that if someone orders a photo assessment, the program will stop. They'll come back. They will upload the photos into the site, and then I will get an alert, of which I will respond to them by creating their program within a 48-hour period, Australian working hours. Now, I'll just go down to this next slide. So they've clicked in for this part. Now, there is also another area that someone can order a photo assessment from, and that is, and I've highlighted it down here, in most of your programs and in all of your garment pages, there is this area down here, and it says something like, I can't remember what that says. Oh yeah, results not quite right. So down here, results not quite right. So if someone's created a program for themselves and they're going through and they're going, oh, this is just not right, then it's fairly sure that they haven't put in the right parameters for themselves. Some people don't always know themselves, and this is where virtual is going to come in good for you. And then so they can actually order, thank you, Claire, they can order a virtual assessment from anywhere on the page once you've sold it to them. And again, that will come to me and I'll do it. Now, I get the whole $25 because I do the work, but hang on there when we actually start to talk about the virtual consultations. What part of what they get is this whole set of instructions on how to take the photographs and the types of photographs I need, because as you'll learn with this lot, and as you'll learn when we start doing virtual color analysis, if we don't get good photographs, we can't give good information. And so I have found both with the style and with the color, by giving really good, clear information of how I want things taken with a photograph, I get 85% of the photographs coming through, no problem whatsoever. 15%, I still need to go back and say, this photograph wasn't right. Can you send me another one? And I have some information I can share with you with what I do then, but I'll do it over in the virtual part. So literally they then, when I have done the program for them, they get an email, and this is the email chopped up so you can see it, which says, congratulations to their name, and that, here's how to get back into your program. I have created for you. This is what you are, and this is how I determined what you are. And I have found that people really like to see their pictures back and seeing the work that's gone into the way that you have assessed them. So I finish it all up by having this sort of process. And of course, on the bottom is, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. That's as simple as the photo and assessment is. But I did want you to know that's how it works. Most of the time, I don't CC consultants in on the results because of privacy. I have been doing it a few times because we've got some consultants who have let us know that they're doing a particular styling course, and because they're also in contact with the clients doing other lessons and things with them, I have blind CC'd the person, the consultant, in on the email. And I blind CC because I've had some really interesting people in underwear. So I just quietly show the consultant, but normally I don't send it to you. Does the client take the measurements? Yes, Emma. Maybe you didn't see that at the beginning of the questionnaire. The very first part they fill in is actually going to be, they're asked about their bust, waist, and hip measurements. All right, so let's go on. So the consultation programs, this being the one-on-one, in this particular webinar, we're going over everything again. So let's have a quick recap of this. Setting a password. So this is when you go to create a program for someone, you're going to go in, highlight the program you're after. You go down here, program for a client, and down here we've got the first page that you would come to, which most of you are familiar with, that will tell you how many license keys you have left, and you start putting in the client's details. Now, one of the things down here, it asks you to create a password, and okay, a password, and what I just set up a thing to do is I use their first name and their postcode, or zip code, the Americans call it. And I always do that because I know, well, that's always what I do. And so I never have to think, oh, what did I make their password? they can always go in and change their password. But we're going to talk about a few little troubleshooting things as we go along. You can also, if you're unfamiliar, up here in this area, you can select, or it's defaulted to the body calculator, which is where you take the measurements, or you could go over to the Claire. Sorry, can people not see my cursor? It seems like we're double doing things together. Let me see if this works. Hang on, everyone. I'll pick up a pen. It seems like Claire wants me to pick up a pen. So hang on a second. Let me see if I can find where there's a pointer here. So can everyone see this? I'll do the draw because I think Claire wants me to do that. Okay, so up here, we've got the area where it's set to, which is the calculator, which is where you put the measurements in. And then over in this one, we have where you set values. And what set values means is that it all becomes drop downs, where you drop down to say what their face shape is. It drops down to what their vertical type is. I would suggest you only use the select values if you are exceptionally sure of your ability to put in the right thing. I've used it in corporate situations where they've paid me a lot less. I have a lot less time with the clients, and so I've done it that way. There are situations when I do it, but please make sure that you're very confident and competent with putting in the right information if you do that. Now, Claire, you might want to rub those out for me now. Make sure that you select whether you're using inches or centimeters when you go in and start to put in the inputs, because we do occasionally have people who put half and half in. Doesn't happen as much anymore, but so if you're in the US, please make sure it's set to inches because it's defaulted to centimeters. I want you to know about apparent age, and that is obviously someone has a chronological age, but if your client looks younger than their chronological age, that is the age I believe that you should put them into. If they look older than their chronological age, that's your job to fix that. So put their right age in, and then you know part of what your job description is with this person. Now, I've mentioned about the double D bust. So if you, and the same happens in here, if you have somebody with a double D bust, it will say, should I minimize this bust or not? And also to be aware that this program will change the bust cup depending on what height your client is, because just as we like to use the apparent body in the horizontal, so what somebody looks like straight on rather than how they measure out, and that's why sometimes you need to change it. Also, I want you to know that the taller someone is, the smaller their bust appears to be. The shorter someone is, the bigger their bust appears to be. And so as the people go through down into short, we will make their bust one size larger. As they go up into tall, we will make their bust one size smaller. So that's worth for you to know as well. We also have the overrides page. So most of you have done programs by now, so I haven't put that page up. But the very last override page, where it shows you, after you've gone all through this, it says, yes, the last calculation page, it will tell you whether they're long-legged, what their weight category is going to be. It will tell you what their horizontal category is going to be, and so forth. And there are 3 areas where you can override. Weight, because program isn't perfect, and if you think that they look in a different weight range, that's fine. Body scale is another one that you can change, and probably the biggest one is the change to their horizontal. And the reason we do this is programs work on linear measurements. So imagine that we take your client and we measure their bust, waist, and hips with separate tape measures, and we lay them down on a desk. So we have the bust tape measure length next to the waist tape measure length next to the hip tape measure length. And that's how a program looks at it. But a body isn't like that. A body is round. So if you looked at your client, as from the ceiling directly down through the center of the head down through the body, some clients are quite round, so they're quite wide from front to back, and some are narrow front to back but wide side to side. And so it is possible that you get a client that has, say, a measurement that makes them a triangle, but you've looked at them at the beginning of the session, as you've been taught to do, to see what do I think they're going to turn out to be. And so if you've looked at them and you've seen a rectangle and now it comes out to triangle, then this is a perfect opportunity for you to stand your client up in front of the mirror and say, this is really interesting. Let me show you something. You measure as a triangle. You look like a rectangle. Can you see this? And then turn them sideways. And the chances are they have a bottom that goes out backwards. So they're not a person who in the hips is wide side to side, making them the triangle. They are coming to be a triangle in measurement because their bottom sticks out the back, so they might have a larger bottom. So where we use this program is we are working the program on what they look like from the front. So this person would be one that you would change from triangle to rectangle. And that happens in about 25% of the cases, and it can often happen with the upper body too. So for the same sort of reason, a bust could be straight forward rather than coming out both sides of the body. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if it does. Don't see any questions coming up too much. Round elliptical, yes. Can you show another example to do with your clients? That's hard to bring up somebody right here at the moment, Claire, but maybe I can put some posts up on our image consultant site. All right, so I want to go to now special considerations. Just things that I think that you should know. Weight loss or weight gain. We give our clients 2 extra update counts. And that means that if they gain weight or lose weight, and 6 kilos, I don't know what that is in American measurements, but 6 kilos is generally what you need to pass in order for you to have made, and now I'll talk American, a 2-inch change, which is another dress size. So everyone's got 2 update counts in order to change if they need to. So the most important part to know about this is that means that if you have a client who says, oh yeah, but I'm about to go on a diet, I'll have this done when I'm finished. They can have the program and look good now. Take another set of measurements and change their program halfway through their diet and then do it again at the end. And they'll know exactly how all their styles are changing. So I think that is a really good thing to do. What about the under 18 client, I'm asked? I think that probably that's not the group that's most interested. But theoretically, what we really need is someone to have stopped growing, to really have an accurate program for them. They do get 2 update counts. So, maybe, I have had parents who have wanted young kids to have it done, and I've gone, okay, well, why don't you do it? If they're 15 now, do it when they're 16, do it when they're 17, whatever. And look, between you and I as consultants, if any of your customers online need a few update counts, just ask me. I can put them in, okay? When they run out of update counts, they need to buy them at $25, of which you get a percentage of that. Can't remember off the top. I think it's about 20% of that, 25%. So, but you know what? If you need it, come and ask me. Just ask me. Oh, now that also reminds me, I didn't put it in the slides here, that when a program is created, So if we press that button right now on creating a program, you have 24 hours, both you and the client have 24 hours to make as many changes as you want. So that was put in because it was really helpful for people who are online that, all the indecisive ones, and they're changing it continuously, trying to find out the one they feel is right. So obviously they're the ones that should have come to you. So 24 hours, you can make as many changes till you're happy. That means also you could get off, sort of come home from a client and go, did I put her in as a D or a double D? Because she should have been a double D. And then you get home and you check and go, oh, I knew it. I did it as a double D. Then if it's in the 24 hours, you can change it. She won't know, that's fine. If that 24 hours period is changed and you've gone, I've just looked at the program and I've put her in as, I don't know, big bottom, and it should have been big stomach. Just tell me the client's name and email address and I'll go in and change it for you. So just let me know and I can fix that one for you. Okay, we have clients who say, I'm pregnant. Should I get this program done? Well, the answer is no, not unless you're absolutely just pregnant. No, leave it, but people do ask. If your client has scoliosis, and you'll know that because one shoulder will be up higher than the other, or one hip will be up higher than the other, how would you manage that? Well, it is a bit tricky. I would, if you're seeing them in person, I would measure either the higher hip. So if it's the shoulders, I'd measure the higher one and the lower one and go between the two. The same with the hip, I go between the two. That's about the best you can do there. Wheelchair-bound clients, how do you measure them? Right, that is not so hard. So what you would do, and I used to do this because I did some work with wheelchair organization, is I got one of those metal rulers. Those, you can buy them that are about 1 meter long. And so if I sit back a little bit, I would have them sit back in their chair, which they normally are, and I would put the ruler down here against their chair and measure it up the height here. So that would be from their hip, we could say from where their hip sticks out the furthest, that measurement up with the height. Then I would get the ruler and push it in this way to the back of the chair to where the bottom is, to their knee. I would do it. That's the next measurement. Then I would do knee from down to the foot plate, and of course you can also measure here to the bust. Not too difficult. So you just use common sense and you can work around these things. Okay. Right. Now, once the program has been set up, the client, whether it be through you or online or in these ways, the client will get a confirmation program setup email. And here's some of the things I've said. The first 24 hours, they can change as much as they like. The update counts I've mentioned, consultant errors I mentioned. Okay, then they get a whole lot of post-purchase emails. Now, this is just an example of one of them. There's about 5, I think. And those emails have recently had a change where except for maybe the very first one, every email will come out and at the bottom of it, it will have your name and your email address. And that's a change we made just recently. Some of these things we've done, set up a long time ago, and we are always happy for you to point something out that you would like to change. And if we feel that it's reasonable and it's a good fit between us as a company who owns the program and you, we're always willing to look at something, and you often come up with really good ideas, and when we can, we try and work those out. Now, in this particular case, it's selling a style guide. Should someone buy a style guide through one of these adverts, it instantly goes as if you sold it. So you will get the commission and you'll see it go up on your commission page. Occasionally, we have clients say that they're trying to log into their program. It didn't work, they've tried the retrieval process, the password retrieval process. It didn't work. We've tested it in the back end by our programmer, and it always works for him. So here's what to do if you get stuck in that little roundabout circle. Go down into your admin panel. Go down into your client list. Log in as that client, because that's what you can do. You can log in as that client, which we'll show you again in a little bit, and go up to their account area and change their password there because you're logging in as them, and then just email them what you've done, or call them, or whatever it is, call them, and they'll be able to get in again and change it. So that's what I do when that happens. Occasionally it does. Everyone okay? What Claire has. All right. Okay. Features and functionalities, just in case you don't know some of these things and you are not familiar with some of them. Okay, let's look at some of them. We have age group images. So according to the age of your client, they will see it won't be different every single thing, but it will be different a fair amount of the time. So here's peplum dress, for example. The under 30s will see that first one. The average one, the default, the 35 to whatever it is, the middle group will see this one, and your over 66 will see those ones. We want to make it as appropriate as we can for all the age groups. Did everyone know that? Did you know that the changes that changes with age? Some of you don't. And here we also have the professional and everyday images. So here's that peplum dress again. And if the person goes from everyday to professional, it will show them what that style of dress would look like or be appropriate if you wore it into the business world. So we've got those two, and I think that's a really nice thing to have. About the images, yes, well, I was going to tell you that soon. I am updating the images as we speak, and I have updated probably about 250 images as we speak. I have done necklines and collars and dresses and jackets and skirts at this moment. I'm doing all the major styles first, and then I'll go into things like hemlines and stuff like that. So I'm doing the major ones. I am working through that process right now. Okay, so looking at a typical page, we have the description, which is up here of the garment. We have the classification of, is it dressy, is it business attire, and so forth. Let me just stop and see what Claire wrote. Am I talking too fast that people can't comment, Claire? Come online and talk and let me know what's going on. Okay.
Them, or I'm able to be able to send the messages through.
You can also keep those messages to the side. We're going to have a question area at the end. Okay, I know we're going to have a long webinar today. I'm trying to add in as much information as I can for you so that you're all very up to date and very aware of what goes on with the programs. Okay, so the second one here is the classification, and that is what lifestyle this would suit. This has been one of the big selling things of the corporate area. They love the fact that we have the professional presentation of a garment. They love that idea, and the fact that we go over and show them the lifestyle that they like as well. Okay, we have personal comments. So the first personal comments here are the comments that come from the program about them and that style, not comments from you, which we'll get to as well. Down here, if you look underneath most images, there is another area, and the area is, first of all, general comments for someone, and then if they click on the other ones, there is also personal, and it's overview comments. So they are also a good area to know that there's things in there as well. All right, there is the My Favorites area. And so that is down here. So if a client was using this program, they can add to favorites by simply waiting till the garment is in the middle and then clicking Add to Favorites. Now, of course, you can do this as well, and it will go into the favorites area. Now, I might just click back there for a minute. Some of you might say, well, why would I put something in a favorites area? Think of a mother of the bride who's come to you and she says, I want to look fantastic for the wedding because the other mother looks better than I do. Typical. And I want to go shopping, but really I can't afford for her dress and her wedding and everything and me to pay for you to go shopping with me too. So please help me know what I'm meant to do. So you could be going through this program and you could be adding things in to the favorites area, so that she knows you told her a certain shoe style, you told her a certain jacket style, you told her a certain fitting to go for, and they'll all sit in the area. And that way she doesn't have to keep thinking, well, where did she go in the program with all those things she told me? So that's why favorites is a really good area to go. Also, if you're going to talk about you putting things in the favorites, is coming.
Oh, you've got that. Okay.
I do. That's under consultant features.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right. So the next thing hang on, let me just have a check here. Having Claire just said that, I'm pretty sure I did add it in here. I'll come back, but I'm pretty sure, Claire, it's in there. Okay, so the other thing that people ask me about is about changing their own personal URL. And can you do it? Absolutely, you can do it. What the programmer suggests is you don't do it frequently, because it can, if you do it a lot, it is an area that's a bit, well, it's not sus, but he said to change it over and over again could cause some problems. So what I say is, yes, you can change your URL. You go up to this update area, you go in to change my URL. There you'll see My Private Stylist, and this is the area where you have your name. Now, one of the things I would suggest to you is the easier you make this name, the easier it is for people to remember it, and you not having to have a bit.ly link. So if Claire Maxfield, I think that's fine because they would know your name. But if you had a long business name, you might just want to do the initials of it. So think about something like that, not too many hyphens and all that sort of stuff in it. But yes, you can change it, and it will change live and instantly. All right. Setting your online price is something that we get asked a lot about. So the online price is up the top there on the page when somebody logs in. You update it from this part of your admin. And when you click here, you go over to this area. Okay, so 1, you would click here. 2, you would come over, you would update the price. 3, you would update down here. So it takes. And 4, you would see instantly it is changed. Yes, we are definitely recording it. You will have it by this afternoon. All right, so does that make sense? So you can update your price anytime. Now, people sometimes say, well, what am I going to charge? And this is what I tell everyone. If you are purely going to sell it online and you just want to set and forget and not do anything, then look, about $89 Australian or US is about the sweet spot people are happy to pay. If you are somebody who does a lot of talks and does a lot of promotions and likes to always offer that, real special deal, then it's probably better that you put the price up around to $129, $125, because you can't sell it for less than $69 because we don't want price wars there. And by putting it up to $125, $129, you give yourself enough leeway to create a decent discount that people will react to, because 5% most people will go, couldn't care less about that one. So keeping it at that price will be important. However, what is also important is once you set the price up like this, don't keep changing it, because people will know that you just put it up when something's coming on and then you put it down again. So if you go to put it up, keep it up. Don't keep changing it. Okay. All right, so to create a discount coupon or promotional coupon, as they're called on the site, you will go to this area, discount coupons. You will then see any of the discounts you've got there. And I might just say that these ones you can see all have green arrows, so they are all active. You can make any of them inactive by just clicking them. And you can also deactivate them or get rid of them by clicking the cross. So if you want to do a new one, all you do is go and click Create New Coupon. That will create this page where you can put the code, and the code is case sensitive. Then you will either put the amount of discount that you want or create the price you want. And you have the option to do either, because sometimes if you do, say, 20%, it will create a number that is something, I'm lousy at maths, which you all know by now, something like $80.75, which is a weird number. So you can just go and the price and it will give you whatever the discount would have been, and just do it that way. The other really good thing is that if you are working with somebody to, let's say a seminar where you want to say, okay, time is of the essence, I'm going to give you this discount, but it's going to stop the day after tomorrow, to save you the worry of having to think, I've got to remember to go in and stop that discount, you can put the valid from to date up here. So you can click, you can click into there and set the start date and the finish date. So that's always great to have a set and forget area. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm just running through these things. Okay, you have also resources. So here's the resources link. And I've just cut out a little part of the resources page. You have also areas where you have all the verb in a document to send somebody information on what to do if you give them a license key, or what to do if you give them a discount coupon. Because if you're doing special promotions, you don't want them to get lost. It's not difficult, but you know what? If you follow it up with an email and goes, here's step-by-step information on how to do it, it just makes your life so much easier. So we have created those for you in the area. Functionality here, the license key lists. So finding where your license keys are is in this license key list area here. You have all the license keys down that area, and you can also send a license key to somebody in this area. Now, why you would do that is you want to make sure that you take that license key out of the list so it doesn't accidentally get used. Because if you send someone a license key and they don't activate it for, let's say, a week, it's possible that if you have an in-home client, then they could, and you're just doing it with the normal creative program in your office, I don't know why, it randomly takes keys. So it could have taken that key. So you need to make sure that that key has been sent to the client. And down the bottom here, you'll see that when it's been activated and who it's activated is also now recorded in that area. So Hope that's all clear to you as well. There's a lot behind the scenes. You know, guys, we've had many people over the years say, and I'm going to create a program just like this. You know, I'll do better than you. We are yet to see someone do this because I know what's behind this. It's a lot of stuff. Anyway, so that's the same thing. So this just shows you the one with the coupon code. So that's fine. Adding to favorites. Okay, so I could have put it at the top too, shouldn't I? Anyway, doesn't matter. So over here, if you are with a client and you want to add something to favorites, you click down into adding to favorites, and then over here it is all the areas that you have in the favorites. And what we've recently changed as well is that you can now also put your comments in here. Is that correct here? I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing, oh, you know why? The add a comments is underneath here. That's all right. I've just cropped the image. So you can now also add personal comments from you into this area. So what I mean by that, let me just see what's coming up in comments. 2 seconds. All right. Okay. So I'll leave that at that. So you are also going to be able to add your own specific comments from you as their consultant in any of these areas. Before, you weren't able to do it into something that had been put into favorites, but you can now. So what am I talking about? I am talking about the 3 things you can do. You can edit results, you can edit a comment, or you can add a personal note. So if you're going to edit a comment, edit a result, it means that this thing has come up as a great match and you don't believe that's correct for this particular client. So you will click edit result. This box will come up. You will click the one you expect it to be, and you will then press save, and then it will change the result. It will go into a different place. So that's editing the results. Editing the comments, so the description will come up, the classification will come up, and if there had been a personal comment from the program come up, you can edit any of those. The next one is adding a personal comment. Again, it will come up. You add your comment in and it will show at the very top notes from Claire. So this program is completely driven by you and what you want this client to receive. This is truly a computer-assisted program for you. So people should feel really at ease and happy with that. All right. All right. So this is the data entry area. So if you make a mistake, all you have to do is tell me and I will go in and fix it, because you don't have the ability to go in and say, oh, I did the wrong vertical tape or whatever. Just email Claire or I, and don't expect it to be done within 5 minutes, because it might be the middle of the night here, but we will go in and change it and we will let you know when we have done that. Whew, okay, we're getting there. Extras you need to know about the program. We have all sorts of profiles and games and quizzes and things that you can do. You will find these at the base of every single My Private Stylist page. If you go to the bottom, so you'll see here what's the wardrobe and the calculator and the personality quiz. They are all there in your program that you can go and get people to do. And they are great for getting a database. They are great for engaging your clients. They are great for using in little mini styling courses that you'll be doing. So I think these are really important. And these are all the various things that we've created for you to use in there. And to also remember that there's a timeless style book that's down there as well, that you can get them to go and collect as well. All right, so now we are on to Are they free for non-clients or clients only? They are actually free for non-clients as well, Emma, but what happens is we collect their database. So they need to give us their okay for us to have their name to be able to contact them, and you'll find out why in a moment. Okay, so the next one is the store page, and you'll find how to get to the store from the top of the page or again from the base of the page, any page. And this is opening up at the store. And here we have gift certificates. So I don't know how many of you know that we actually have gift certificates that your clients can create from inside this program themselves. And if I open it up to here, when we go into this area here, which I haven't got an image, it drops down. Is it just the style program? Is it the style program plus a photo assessment? Is it the style program, the photo assessment, and a style guide? So they can select whichever they want at the different prices, of course, whichever you have set up. If they click this one over here, they get happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever it is, or they can actually enter whatever they want it to say here. They put the gift recipient name in and their email. They put your name or the person giving the gift and their email in, and they decide whether they want it electronically sent or whether they just want it sent to, so electronically sent to the person they're gifting to, or they would like to be able to print it themselves and give it to somebody on a certain date. If they want the program electronically sent, then they can put in the date of what date they would like this sent to the client. So I think that's all pretty cool. And I know a lot of people don't know it's actually there. Claire is saying, make sure when you grab these URLs. Okay. That's something Claire told me to say a little while ago after the first video, and I didn't come back to say. Sometimes consultants come and they go, I'm trying to get to, say, Claire's My Private Stylist program, and it keeps reverting back to the main My Private Stylist program. And that is because cookies are put on the site. So let me explain it this way. If the first time you ever saw this program, you went to the main My Private Stylist program, then that puts a cookie on a person's program or on a person's printer that says, link this person to that program because they were the first person to see it. Okay. Now, cookies can be got rid of when you reboot your computer, or if you go in and physically get rid of them out of your browser. The reason we do that is, let's say you're promoting your website through a promotion of some sort, right? And so they go to your website first and they see you. But then somehow they're browsing around and they get to somebody else's My Private Stylist website and they click on that. It will bring them back to yours because you saw them first. So that's what cookies are all about. So if for the person who says, I'm trying to get to Claire, but I keep going to another one, that means they need to clear their cookies or reboot their computer, and that's how they'll get there. But we do that for you. We do that so that you get the person who first came to you. Okay. All right. So now if you are, here's another one. If you are trying to see a client's program, but you also want to go into another person's, I don't know why, but I'm just giving you a scenario. You can open an Incognito Browser tab, and you can do things incognito. So if you want to find out about more about that later. Some of the little ins and outs and little secrets we know. Ask Claire and I. We're about to launch the Learning Lounge, which you'll learn about today or tomorrow. So that could be one of the questions for the Learning Lounge. Okay, so some of the extras are also the style manuals and things that we have on the site. Again, if people buy these, then you get your commission. We also have Menace Tile, and Menace Tile at the moment is getting a whole new revamp. It's going to be a new, well, it'll look like My Private Stylist, but it's going to get a new face. It's going to be made responsive, so it works well on phones, and then of course we'll move that over to My Private Stylist as well. But one thing to know about My Private Stylist and Menace Tile is if you've got a client who is really happy with My Private Stylist, they have men in their lives. And that means it would make a great gift for them. It would be something that if they thought it made a difference to them, there are men in their lives they can tell. So don't just have your Menace Tile program just sitting over on the side with no one loving it. Tell people about it, because if they love My Private Stylist, they're likely to love this too, and it makes a great gift certificate. All right. So it's a big one today. Upgraded features. So as you know, you can go onto our program, into your admin, and you can upgrade your websites. The cost of this is $225 for the first time of the setup of it, and then $125 a year. But it gives you quite significant upgrade features. So the first thing it does is it allows you to put your photo or logo, but I think a photo is far more effective with people, on the banners. It also allows you to put your photo and your profile in this area down here. So that's pretty significant as well. It also puts your photograph in every area of the of the garment area, which I'll get to as well. Next, it has opens up the subscriber list to you. So some of you are not some of you who are not upgraded at the moment will see there are areas in your admin that are grayed out. So the subscriber area is anybody who's done one of those quizzes, one of those profiles that has given us their email address. These are all hot prospects for you to contact, whether it be for your blog or whether it be just to say, hey, I'm doing an online course or online virtual consulting, all that. They are ready for you to access. And so as an upgraded feature, you click there and you get the list of everyone. And also, if you can see up there, there's also a way that you can download them all as well. So that's a great thing for you to be able to do. You can also email one or all of clients in the subscriber lists through the platform. So you don't have to have your own email system. And so here is where you would go. So you would set up which clients you want to see it. You would put in what the title is going to be. You would click over here, which will take you to here to fill in. So you would go, sorry. This is if you just want a single email address. You just put a single email address there. Then you would go up to here, which is the contents. So the bulk of what you're going to say, which brings you over to this page. You would fill all that in, and then you would press send. So you can email from inside the system. The other thing we have is upgrade features that are adding garment adverts. So what I mean by that is under every section in here, you can add a different advert that has links you can set up to go to different places. So this one is looking for a speaker, learn more. They click there and they go over to Claire's speaker page on her website. You get your face here as well. So if you don't set these up, your face is here, but this is blank. So it looks a little empty, but so I suggest you do put these in. We have created for you a series of them, but in the resources area of your admin, we have also given you all the dimensions that you could create your own. So here are just a few. So going back again, you can go and put a different one on every single one of these, right? So it's only one per section, not every single different garment, but that's another opportunity for you to tell people about all the various things you do, promote color analysis, promote shopping, all sorts of things. It's heaps of stuff there. You can also add your programs or your products to the shop as well. So Claire's got her books here. Claire could also add her makeup here. So it's another way to make sales. And if sales are made, they go directly to your marketing sales page. So we take no cut in that whatsoever. Phew. It's long, isn't it? Thank you for sticking with me. But now we're about to talk about virtual consultations, which I know is something that a lot of you want to hear about. So just before I go on, has anybody learned anything new that they didn't know before? I'm hoping heaps. Good. You know, my private stylist has had put a lot of work into it. And if you go into it at the moment, I think you're going to be really surprised with all the new garments. There's, as I say, about 250 garments being done. I'm doing on roughly adding 15, 20 new garments a day. So it's all looking pretty new and spiffy and special at the moment. Okay, so virtual consultations, this is the hot topic at the moment. This is the thing that people are going, oh, with this COVID virus, we really need to get on here. And people around the world are going, does anyone have a virtual style program? Hello, we do. So please tell people about it, because we could really do with the new clientele, because, you know, it's getting slow for us as well. So let's have a look how we're going to do it. Now, Claire and I are going to commit to the next couple of days to a week, putting some real stuff together that's really going to help you. But let me go through the process with you, and let's all have a discussion at the end on what you would like from us. So with virtual consultations, you first have to consider what your offer is going to be. So are you going to offer purely seeing a client one-on-one through Zoom or whatever it is going to be, sending them away to get their measurements and assessments off them, and are you going to offer anything else beside the program? You need to really get your ideas around that. So one of our consultants here in Melbourne, Melina, has done a self-styling course, a refresh your style course. So she's got several lessons in there, of which this is one of them, right? And so what are you going to offer? You need to put that together. Then you need to come up with, well, what is the process going to be? How am I going to do this step by step? And this is the part where we can help you with the My Private Stylist. And, you know, this has all happened very fast for all of us. We are, you know, we've been concentrating on the color. We've had to pivot a little bit and see what we can do with this. But we can do this together, right? All of us. So you need to work out what the process is going to be. Going to talk about that in a minute. Then, of course, you need to promote it, because no one's going to find you by accident. So you need to do your promotion. You need to have a way to organize payment. So PayPal, maybe you want to get a business PayPal gateway or something like that. You need to be able to send instructions and request photos. And you're going to need a way that you're going to complete the consultation. Now, I know Claire's got some different ideas on that. She'll come online as well, because Claire and I always tend to do things quite differently. So you have two different left brain, right brain ideas of how to do this, but you need to complete the consultation. So you need a questionnaire. We're going to, in the next couple of days, put together a questionnaire for you that will involve questioning things like asking them things for their measurements. We're going to make it a fillable PDF so that we can just hand it to you and you can just use it. we will do all that for you. So we can all discuss this in a minute. I use Hightail. You'll need somewhere that they can send their photos to, because one of the things I've found with the color is that people don't know how to resize photographs. So you either get very, very big photographs, which can sometimes not get sent to you because of their email restrictions, or they make them so small they're useless to you. So they don't seem to be able to do one or the other. So I use a program called Hightail, which allows me to send them a link, which I would put into the email or the fillable content, that will allow them to click here, just upload whatever photos they've got, full size, into there, no problems with their email. And then one of the things I do is I have always marked up their images to show them how I got to the conclusions I did of what their body shape and all is. I have found that people have enjoyed seeing that process, and it gives them some confidence about what I have chosen for them. Now, virtual consultations mean that we all will have a different way of doing things. So all we can do to you is present what we do. Claire's going to come on in a minute and give you her idea. But we will be putting together a printable PDF for you to use, pretty lickety-split, and that will be coming up shortly. And then you need to have an email template to send back to them if you're going to do it. Now, my virtual consultations, I'm busy running the country. I'm glad I'm not running the company. Whereas when someone wants a virtual one with me, it's basically, I don't do virtual consultations. I just do the photo assessments. I send them back a HTML email like this. So I have already given you a little lesson that's in your webinars on how to create a HTML email. And it just makes it look a lot more professional if you do. And I generally just send them back this, and that's done and dusted for me, because that's all I do. But for you, the idea is, if you're doing virtual consultations, what are all your processes going to be? You could use things like Loom and be talking back to the client. So when you saw me do the how to do an online payment and get a program going through the questionnaire, I used a program called Loom, the free version of that, to talk to you and give you that video. Claire uses Loom when she's giving her training feedback to clients. You maybe want to use Zoom or WhatsApp or Skype or Google Hangouts, or all those things have many people on board. So you need to think about how that's going to work for you. And we can actually maybe even make that one of our first the learning lounge things, where we're getting together and all talking about things, and things will come from that. Okay, so program delivery. Program delivery, I believe, whether you're doing a virtual consultation or an in-person one, is going to be pretty similar. So you all should know this already. I'll run through it quickly. You need the client goals. Why did she come here in the first place? Why is she wanting this program? Hopefully, if you're doing a virtual consultation, you would have found that out too. You need to go through the measurement and assessment process. You need to create the program. You need to explain the basics of how the program works. The fact that, it's the individual areas of of garments, and then you learn to put it all together. Demonstrate that by using what they are wearing on the day. So even if you're talking to them on Zoom, you can say, okay, I want you to have a separate browser open, and I want you to have a look at the collar you're wearing now. Where does that fit into the program? Does that say it's a good one or a bad one? Does it tell you to do something with it? So give them that way of understanding how it works. You want to mention the importance of color, because you know what? that's the second half of getting all of this right. So start talking about color to introduce the idea that you do color analysis as well. And next week's video is on what we've got for you with virtual color analysis. So cover the consultation goals. You need them to walk away from the consultation knowing they had a fabulous time, they learned a lot of stuff. Whatever they came for, you've helped them work out what they're going to do to solve that problem. And remember, people come to you through pain or pleasure. So you've got that client who's got that challenge in her life that's troubling her, and she's having the program, or he having the program to do it, to solve that. And you get the people who go, I think she's really cool. She does image. I've seen it on TV. I want to experience this whole thing. So she's looking for the pleasure. So she's wanting the upbeat and the fun and all the rest. So know who your client is that way. After the program has been set up, regardless of whether I say we have an automatic email we send, you too need to send them an email with all their contact details. So thank you from you to say that, you did the program or you set the program up with them, because that's another touch point from you. And, sometimes their security is up so high, ours doesn't get through. So make sure you do that as well. And of course, follow up. Everyone needs to follow up their clients, because that's a great thing to do, a great way to get them to start talking about you, promoting you, and also maybe to get that next upsell to that next service. All right, so in development, coming soon, we have the Menace Tile program. So this is just some of the early things that we've got going. So it'll be responsive. We haven't got new image yet. We will be finding new images, new logo. Just some pictures here to tell you that it's coming along. So this is the time for questions, everybody. So Claire, come on back online. And now you can start shooting any questions or comments you've got, and we are here to answer them for you. Good, I see you're all writing.
So what I was going to say, while we're waiting for some questions to come on, there was just a couple of little tips that I find really interesting and clients find fun that I do. So please get your questions going, and while you're typing, we're talking about some people, they might be wide, but they're not necessarily deep. That when you take their circumference, their tape measure, if you stand there with a client in front of you, you're all seeing I'm wearing jeans every day to the office, and you can see someone is broad but very narrow. Have them stand in front of you, in front of the mirror, and put your hands on their hips, and then tell them to go sideways. And you will find, I'll take my jacket off because you can't see. And you keep the hands there. Now, oops, I've got a dark chair, but you can see I've got a bit of room. And you'll find there are a lot of women, and this works really good with young girls as well, who see how broad their hips are. And they keep trying and trying and trying to lose weight, and they can't. And I just turn around to them and I say, have a look. And then they look and they see there's nothing there. And it gives them a whole different perspective on their shape. And they don't see themselves as being so big. So that's the first thing that you do. Can everybody hear me now? Hands up. And the second thing I do is with the favourites. See, me, I love the favourites. For me, the favourites is what turns this around from being just a generic, almost one-size-fits-all thing to something that is so personal to that client. Because, yes, we got their shape and all the rest. But you can go in there, and each quarter you can say to your clients, you know what? I've gone and updated your favourites to what you should be looking for that's in this season. These are the looks and the styles that are going to work for you this season. You can also say to them, you know how you're going away? I've updated it with some things you need to look for. No one can hear me. Oh, no, Bev can.
Yeah, Dixie can.
Yeah. Good. So that's And another thing you could do is, like, you might have be looking at their T-shirts or their tops, and then say, you have under my notes, leopard print.
I'll be back 1 minute.
Wear it with, just turn your mic off, and you can start making notes against their garments that are relevant to clothes they have in their wardrobe. Now, if you're going to start making regular notes under the notes from Claire or Jane or Lucia or Bev or Julie, then you might want to put a date so they know if it's a latest notes, if that is something you're going to do regularly. No, we can't enter current measurements at the moment, Julie. What we can do is, if you believe there's going to be a change, you can use the program and just put the measurements in that they are now, and see what it adjusts before you can calculate but not create, and see what it is coming up as, and then go in and update your client. The auto emails are, well, Anne showed you one. I'll go in and have a look. They are fairly simple. There should be a couple of images in there, but with a header and everything. So let me see if I've got everyone's questions. Okay, Lucia, the My Private Stylist program that you just send them to the URLs about, if you've got a client who says, I can't afford it, that's your DIY answer. But then if you're doing, as we mentioned, if you want to do a virtual consultation with them, see, I like to set up, get their details, create their program, and then do a one-on-one consultation with my client through a program. Generally, I use Zoom or maybe Messenger or something like that. So there's different ways to do the virtual consultations. I just often see the screen as just a screen between us, not actually virtual, like you're getting it and they're not hearing me speak to them. Or I will do the I will also, what am I trying to say here? Send them a Loom response. Now, anyone who's got a video email from me will know that I've done it on Loom. My tip to you is, when you send a Loom to someone, change the name of it to reflect their name, because on the free account, you often can't see who's watched it, although they have changed a lot during the crisis time. Yes, so if someone does the quiz and you don't have, well, firstly, if someone's done their personality quiz, it will now show up on their profile if their profile's already set up for it. If they go to their profile, so if they come into, let me just see. All right, if they are in here, send them to concierge and they can then click. So from, oh, hang on, let me check. I've got my real pointer working now. This is the pointer. Send them up here to the concierge, and that will then take them. They can do the quiz from there, and the results will go under their My Results. Keep in mind, though, if they continually do it, you'll only ever see the results of the last time they did the quiz. But if you don't have an upgraded program and they don't have My Private Stylist, someone's done the quiz, ask them what their results were and discuss it with them. I think that's it. Anyone got any other questions? We do have webinars at the bottom of the webinar section on setting up my client's profile, sending a client a license key. I've got the little video that I made for this other consultant. I'll send it to you all with Hightail. If you want to use it, you'll need to embed it on your website. It's too big to be emailed, but there's lots and lots we have. At the end of today, a few of you have asked, we'll send you a PDF of this webinar, so you've got all the emails to all the slides to look at. If you're watching this down the road, not today, just send us an email. We can send you that. We might actually add it as a downloadable product with it. And Ruth and Kim and Bev, I'll help you with your signatures.
And my sound on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And be sure to join us on April 8th for the virtual colour, because you've seen some of the tools we've got, but we have a lot more. So that's going to be quite an exciting one.
And
yes.
I want to add, for this month, we're really committed to getting all the virtual tools we can together. So over Easter, I'm going to be doing some virtual wardrobes. And then on the 22nd of April, we're going to teach you how to do a virtual wardrobe as well. That's it.
Cool. Ruth, we should have your email. So, all right, guys, thank you for being through this very long webinar today, but I hope you've got a lot out of it. We look forward to helping you in every way we can. So we are only ever an email or a call away. Love you guys. See you all again next time. Bye.